Hello everyone, I'm Alicia and I'm back with another flat back marble tutorial. So far I've showed how to take these flat back marbles and make them into pendants, rings, bracelets, and earrings. For this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make these flat back marbles into, guess what? Shank buttons. This is so awesome. I actually made these when I was working on the earrings and I'm just now doing a video on it. But yeah, they're so cool. You can use these in your beaded bracelets. You can use them in a wrap bracelet. You can, if you want, if you're into crocheting or sewing, you can use these buttons in that way. So this little crochet purse, I didn't make it, one of my viewers did, and thank you so much for sending it to me. But I just love this little purse. She made it for coins to be put in, but I love to use it for my earbuds because my bird and my cat is always obsessed with my earbuds, so I put my earbuds in here and it's worked out great. But anyways, I thought, wouldn't one of these buttons just look awesome on this little coin purse? So if you're into crocheting or sewing, making stuff like that, this is a great way to save money. But not just that, you're making it more personalized, and the button is so cool and neat looking. Nobody's gonna even know that you made the button. They're gonna think that you spent like $5 on a really cool glass button. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this shank button. It's really simple. I will say though, it takes a while to get the technique of how to begin and start it and doing the wrapping, because the first couple times I made it, it was difficult. It took me about 2-3 tries to get it just right. So anyways, for this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make flat back marble shank buttons. Oh, and remember, in the first video I did the pendant, I showed how you could put paper on the back of them to really personalize it. In the second video I showed that you could put nail polish on the back of them, but not just that, I showed how to crackle them. So if you want to see how to put the paper on the back of them or how to crackle them, I recommend that you go back and watch my 2 videos. And I'm going to put links down there for all 4 videos, for the pendant, the rings, the bracelet, and the earrings, so you guys can go back and watch them if you haven't seen them yet. Okay, so let's get started. Here is the list of materials you will need to make these flat back glass marble shank buttons. You will need flat back marbles, and I'm using the small ones, but I guess if you had a project where you could use the big ones, go ahead and try it and see what it's like. I get these marbles at the dollar store. I always find them at the Dollar Tree. You can also get them at Walmart in the flower section, and every craft store carries them. So those are the places that I've seen them, but usually I just buy them at the dollar store because it's the best deal. You're also going to need E6000 glue, 20 gauge wire, and I'm using a copper wire because it matches my marble perfectly. You can use other kinds. I've used craft wires in the back of these here, but don't go any smaller than a 20 gauge. Don't go to 22, 24 because it's too weak and brittle and it's not going to hold up for these buttons. You're also going to need to decorate the back of your marbles. So this one here I'd crackled and I painted it with nail polish, and like I said, if you want you can also put paper on the back of them. So go ahead and make sure that you already have them decorated so we can put the back on, and make sure that they are dried at least overnight so we can put the back on. Okay? You're also going to need chain nose pliers, round nose pliers, and wire cutters, and I believe this is it. If I left anything out, remember I always put the material list down there, so if I left anything out it'll be down there in the material list. Okay, so this is what we need. Let's get started. So I'm going to start showing you how to make the shank that goes on the back of this, and there is no exact length to cut because not all of these flat back marbles are the same size. Even if you just buy the small ones, because look at this here, this pink one is bigger than this yellow one. Can you see that? Side by side, the pink one is bigger. And it's just how they're made in the factory, I guess. So, like I said, there's no length, exact length to cut, what I like to do is work straight off the spool. I just take the wire, I straighten it out about 1 foot, and I come down here and I start making my shank, the loop right there that's on the bottom. Okay, so I take my round nose pliers and I grab about here, okay, about 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inches down, and I make a bend. And now I make my loop. And I don't want this to be too small because if I do crocheting, I want my yarn to go through there, okay? Just like that. I'm swapping my sides, moving it like this. I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and I'm going to bring it around. And my spool just fell off the table. Okay, bring it around, pull it tight, and now I have my loop there. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap this wire right here around this 1 to 2 times, and you know, it kind of depends on what you're going to use this for, because the material, if you're using yarn, if you're crocheting, you're probably going to want to do 2 wraps because it's thick. Okay, one more. We're actually just like halfway there. Okay, right there I am. I'm going to cut this. And there we go. Now my wire is sticking up a little bit and I'm going to squish it down, and I like to squish it down with this part of the pliers because every time I use the chain nose pliers for this, it just slips. So there's this part right here in the hinge of my round nose, and it just grips that wire really good for me and pushes it down. It doesn't slip. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this at a 90-degree angle. Actually, what I've done is I hold this in my round nose and I bend it like this. Okay, so now I'm done with my round nose. I'm going to put those to the side, and now I'm going to work with my chain nose pliers. And I like to grab it right here, okay, right at the base where it comes out, right there. And make sure you have a really good grip on it because it's going to slip on us. And this is the part that is kind of tricky to get used to making. It took a couple tries for me to get this just right, okay? So I'm going to grab it right here as close as I can to the base. Get a really good grip on it, and I'm going to bend it like this. Turn my wrist. Okay? So now I have this. So now I'm going to grab it again right here, and I'm going to pull this tighter. Now I'm going to swap, and I'm going to grab it right here. And I'm going to make a wrap around. Okay? And I need this wire to lay flat against this wire so I can make the spiral on the back. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this beginning of my loop right here, down here. And I'm going to grab it tight and I'm going to bend this. Okay? I'm going to grab it over here and I'm going to continue bending it. And this part is a little tricky because there's not much to work with right now. Hold it tight and make that spiral. And I find it best to try and grab the very center part so it doesn't slip on us. But it's a little hard to do it until we get further along. Okay? And I was just making this gap big enough in the center to put my pliers in and grab it and spin it. I'm going to try to make this tighter. Okay? So keep on going around. And I feel like I'm making this backwards. Maybe I twisted this in the wrong direction or something. Because of how I have to spin it. It just feels like I did it differently before. Okay. Just keep making the spiral until it looks like it can cover the back of our marble. Okay, looks like I'm getting there. Probably a couple more wraps around. But I'm just going to stop and check and see what it looks like. Okay, I can go a few more wraps around. You probably could do a few wraps and make a smaller spiral on the back than what I did, but I thought if I could cover more of the back up with the spiral, the glue would adhere much better if I were to do than just a small spiral. Okay, so I'm gonna go around a few more times. Try to keep the wire laying against each other. And I have a gap there now. Okay, go back and try to fix that. Okay, let's see what it's like now. Okay, I think I'm about there. Yeah. So I'm gonna cut my wire. Cut this off. This is what it looks like. As you can see, it's not really flat. It's kind of domed, and we could fix that. We can manipulate it. So what I do is I go like this, and I bend it that way, and it helps. Now, our shank isn't centered, and we can center it. What I do is I lay it down, and I put my round nose in a loop, and I bend it towards the center. There we go, just like that. Okay. And this here is sticking out, so what I do is I come back in here, I grab this wire, and I just start to bend it into more of a round shape so it goes in nicely like that. Okay, so it looks great from above, but really what I have to work on is getting this flat so it sticks to my marble. Okay, I think I have it flat now. It looks really good. Maybe this outside wire here could go up some more. Okay, looks good enough for me. So now we are ready, now that we have this flat, we are ready to glue it on the back of our marble. Now I'm just going to put some glue on the back of my marble. And I did squeeze the tube a little bit, so it's going to be pouring out like crazy. Put it in the center, and I just smear it around. Okay. Like that. And then I put this on the back. Now don't press it down right away. I put it on, and I spin it. So the glue is evenly distributed, because I didn't get it all around in a perfect circle. So I just go like that. And then I press it down. Okay, and just make sure it's centered. Alright. Just gonna set that to the side and let it dry. And I'm gonna show you guys something awesome I created during this video. So while I was filming how to make the button shank, right before I filmed how to glue the back on, I had an idea. What if I just took the shank and made a button out of that? But there's one problem with that. I'll show you on this one. I have this little wire here sticking out, and it would get caught on everything. So how would I turn this into a button? Well, what I did is I took that wire, I folded it on the back, so this is what the top looks like, and I wrapped it around here, and now I have a spiral wire button, and it looks so cool. I'm so happy about that. I think I would have thought of it earlier, before I actually filmed this, because I already made 5 of them. But anyways, I'm going to show you how to do the spiral wire button. If you want, you could put the marble on here, but I think it's cool just as it is like this. And because of how I tucked it under and wrapped it around the shank, it's not going to get caught on anything. Alright? So I'm going to show you how I did that. So I already showed you how to start the shank. I showed you how to wrap it around. This one here is a little bit bigger than this one, but that's fine. I want it to be bigger. And you can make it any size you want, really, just by wrapping it around. So to get this to go on the back, what I did is I wrapped this around with my chain nose pliers till I was happy with how it looked. Okay, so I'm really happy with the shape of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and I'm going to grab it right here, okay, where I stopped spiraling. And I'm going to bend this wire up like this. Hold on very tight to your pliers, okay? Press the wire down in the back with the chain nose to make it flat. Okay, now hold on to this very tight with your chain nose, and I'm going to start wrapping around this here, and it's a little tricky. Okay, my shank is starting to bend, so I have to go in here and grab it better. Okay, I'll hold it like this. Wrap it around. You just want like 1 or 2 wraps just to secure it on the back. I think I'll go around twice. Try to go under there. This one's gonna fuss with me. First one, just perfect. Okay, and I'm gonna trim it right here. Trim it. And I'm gonna tuck it in to the little hole. Okay, so as you can see, my spiral did get bent out of shape, but we can bend it back. Alright, grab this wire here and lift it up. Come over here. Okay, and there we go. You guys get the point. So now we actually have 2 buttons. So just my one idea turned into 2 ideas. So instead of just using this as a shank and using it as a base to glue this marble on, now I actually have a spiral wire button. This is so cool. So this is it. I hope that I inspired you guys and gave you a lot of ideas and to think out of the box more on stuff. I was actually just thinking, instead of just gluing the glass marbles to the shanks I made, what if we glued other stuff onto these shanks? What if I glued shells on it? Wouldn't that look cool? A shell button, or a really neat rock, or maybe one of those really pretty druzy stones, glue that onto the shank? That would be an awesome button. And also I was thinking earrings. You know how you can go to the thrift store and you can find like old clip-on earrings and some really neat charms and cool stuff like that? You could clip off the loop that's on it and you can glue it onto the shanks, and that would be a really cool shank button. So there's so many different things that you can do with just the base of this, attaching different things to it. So show me what you guys make on Facebook. I can't wait to see what you guys have in mind to glue onto these shanks other than just the glass marbles. So please like this video, leave me a comment, and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Like me on Facebook and share pictures of things that you've made for my videos on my Facebook page, and follow me on Pinterest. Thanks for watching.